Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing well. Got some messages for you. Good luck, someone said. Now what's going on here is we seem to have a Galactic Council that is interviewing and viewing the historical patterning of individuals, and they are receiving what it is they deserve. So somebody said, good luck. Budapest was mentioned, which is the name of two cities that merged to form the capital of Hungary, Buda and Pest. Buda equals water, and Pest is a furnace, an oven, or a cove. Buda is the western side of the Danube River, and Pest is the eastern side of the Danube River. They crucified her, one of them said, and she survived. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil. They're talking about dispatching her. So whoever this is that they crucified, she survived. The contracted the contracted period of burdening is over. She's free. Spirit has said on this story that they can't trap her and they can't keep her. They can't curse her land or her business or her, although they're trying. They're talking about dispatching her. So they want to deal with this problem or this opponent that they see as an opponent quickly. They want to send her off. Somebody was asking if there is a rope in her house. You know how these ones do. They come in and they hang you on a doorknob or some shit like that. So then the word propriety was mentioned, which is respectability, decency, appropriate, and correctness. This is how you present yourself. This is how you are seen by others. And they want to eliminate your presence. They don't want you to have an influence on anyone here. There's something about a vaporizer. Now they're very, very mad, and it appears they don't want to get their hands dirty. So what they're doing is they are air conditioning with a vaporizer the atmosphere. And currently we've got a lot of people out there suffering from lung infections or respiratory infections. They're apparently flooding the emergencies and the urgent care facilities, getting some sort of a antibiotic. The thing about this is that there could be something wrong with the antibiotics that are being prescribed right now for this respiratory infection, this manufactured respiratory infection. Or there could be something inside the vapor that people are breathing right now. They're talking about muscles, and they say that you have the strength. They don't recognize her, someone said, which yesterday you may have gone somewhere and they may have known that you were going to be at this place, and it's like they sent in a couple of their people, and they were told that they were not able to recognize you within the establishment and among the people that were there. These nefarious ones are taking samples of energy and they're measuring its potency. Now, there's a lot of talk of folks being worried that you're getting in their head. Out there, a lot of the clairvoyants are speaking, or, the clairaudience. And for me, it's like these ones wake me up at midnight every night. I go to bed at a decent hour and I try to get 8 hours of sleep. And for some odd reason, at midnight, these ones decide to enter my house and have a meeting. And they keep me awake. They choose my house, my mind, my body, my house of wood for this activity. Now, I don't know why they would complain about me discussing these events that are being forced into my mental body. They steal my opportunity to have a decent 8 hours of rest. And, if they don't want me to talk about my experiences with these nefarious ones intruding into my house, then they should choose a new meeting site. That's all I've got to say. I never go out looking for anybody's mental activity. I never go out to see what other people are doing. I don't even know how to do that. Okay? I'm not a witch. I don't know any of this. I've just been on 22 years and ongoing of spiritual battle. So it's my right to speak on these trespasses that enter my house in the night. And it deserves to be spoken of and brought to the light. This experience and I know I'm not the only one going through it. That being said, they're talking about the Lion King and how he has just fortified his army, or he has increased it. They're talking about someone's financials and someone's property. The final portion of this conversation was, it can't be a monkey door, which is a child's safety device that clamps to the edge of a door to keep children from leaving the room. So they need an entry into this house, into this property, and it can't be childproof. Like, there has to be a quick and easy way to escape. They're planning on doing a thing to somebody. And it appears as though the Galactics have issued a judgment on this curator. He was talking about the Galactics the other day, and he sounded surprised. I listened to this person reading a document over what these Galactics have charged him with. And I did not write it down. I was too busy listening. He's in big trouble. The judgments are about what they have done to the life on this planet. They are being relieved of their positions, and they're being watched. Everything they do, everything that they threaten you with is being heard, and everything they do is being seen. Now, when they first entered my house last night at midnight this morning, there was one masculine speaking so loudly and excitedly about prostituting the energy. Freaking jackass. Joking about it like it was some fantastic thing that they've been accustomed to doing quite freely without any interruption from anybody. They come into the sleeping chambers of single women and others, and they do these kinds of things. Now, just a little break away from this. I have a coworker who's a Mormon woman. She's been married for some time. She has teenage children, and she's very faithful with her devotion to the Lord, and she goes to church every weekend. She has functions with that family. Just a few days ago, she had an experience in the astral where she was raped. And she said usually she can control her dreams, but this one she wasn't able to. And this isn't the only trespass that they have put against her. So these ones they are getting energy, and they're testing the potency. And it really doesn't matter whether they be married or single. They're going into their sleeping chambers, and they are violating them. Looking for energy that they can prostitute. So they were talking about that, and I was like, look, you little jackass. I'm serious. It's like, if you're going to come into my freaking house, how disrespectful to come into my house and speak so boldly about what you're going to do to me when the entire family is listening to the broadcast. And then, of course, they got really quiet because this jackass is so freaking out of it and disconnected from reality. that they don't know the truth of what they do. They think that this person, whether it be me or somebody else, is there alone, and that they have nobody else there with them. It's like they're free to come and go, but they can't touch. And everything they say and plan and every organizational scheme that they concoct is being listened to. Arrogance. And then I heard off in the distance what sounded like a feminine screaming, like someone was attacking her. The divine said a few weeks ago that their intentions will be their gifts. And honestly, I just don't understand why these masculines keep trying to curse the divine feminine this way, especially if they have a wife or daughters. Because the creator or the curator was told, your intentions for her are your intentions for the Most High. And a while back, just a few days ago, he was told, everyone was told, those who hate me can look me in the face. These are the daughters of the Most High. These are the sleeping chambers that they're coming into, sampling the energy of, and then rating its potency. Everything they're doing is being witnessed and known. So the curator is talking about his authority. And someone said, that was not until you owned this person. So they know that this person who has been dealing in the energy, the life force vital energy of a living being as a commodity, did not have any power until they trapped an innocent person through martyring, through sacrifice and entrapment into a lower vibrational suffering state. They stole the gifts and the abilities and the power and the energy of this person and persons. And that's how they are able to manufacture their magical illusions. And the curator is trying to figure out who this person is. See, they can't remember who you are. It's been thousands of years since they martyred you the first time. Many cycles of death and rebirth into this suffering state. They don't keep good records, you know, especially on those that they are certain won't be able to recover. He doesn't remember who you are. They're guessing. They're pulling at straws, trying to figure it out. Who are your ancestors? They really effed up. They have no idea who you are, how many lifetimes you've had, who is your actual genealogy, who is it that they've actually been effing around with? Why is it that all of a sudden they're all suffering? The binding that they had over you, these divine star beings, has been released. And I've heard talk of this the other day. It's like the melanated people, there was like 400 years and something about 144,000 years. It's like this is some sort of a sentencing that had been imposed, but it is over now. And so people have been released from these bindings. And they don't remember who you are. They don't even remember exactly what they've done. They've been too drunk and high on this superiority. They're powerful, these ones are saying. So it's like there's a power couple. And it could be the unified collective that has been freed from this sentencing. You are speaking loud and proud. A survivor, they call you. Although you might call yourself a victor. She needs to be controlled, they say. So the sentencing is over. You are free. You're bright and shiny. They could not murder you. Nobody else could steal your vessel, walk into it, and portray themselves as you, and then skew the perception of reality regarding the essence that is you. You're here in your full authenticity, and they need to control you. You're an influencer somehow. People are listening to you, and they're losing their following. They want to forcefully handle someone that they aren't able to mentally program. So it's like somebody came back from this meeting with the Galactics where they are being interviewed about their thoughts and ideas and their habitual patterns of the past. And somebody said, do they call your hand? Whatever that means. Take us as it resonates. I don't know what that means. Do they call your hand? Like, do they call your hand? What game have you been playing? What cards are you holding? What's your agenda? Is the way I'm seeing that. So now they're going back through history and they're looking at these power couples that they have overpowered through deception and trickery, and perhaps we're able to separate the power dynamic and then sacrifice them. You know, this has happened quite many times. There's a lot of these entities that, like queens and kings, that were burned, you know, and such. So anyway, another time there was a Virgo and a Capricorn. So they're doing some research, some historical research on these similar scenarios with power couples, who they were, what their signs were, and all that good stuff. And this curator is very intent on collecting you. This person that they sacrificed, who walked through the valley of the shadow of death and came out the other side shining like a freaking bright star, they want to feed you as an appetizer to their black hole demon god, which is identified as the Satan. They're talking about this vaporizer, so they're air conditioning, causing respiratory infections, and they need you to go to the hospital. And somebody said supposed to, like, it's like they're doing go to the hospital magic on this vapor. So they're putting this vapor into the mist. People are breathing it in, and it's got attached to it a go to the hospital magic spell or something. Somebody said, I can't do it. So they're frustrated. Whatever they're doing, it's not working, and they're frustrated. They're talking about actors and actresses and how they spend their entire lives pretending to be somebody else, and how you've never been impressed by them. They're saying from start to finish, you've never been impressed by them. You're more into being your authentic self, you know, singing your soul song, growing the garden that the Most High Creator seeded within you, the song that is supposed to be sang in this realm to assist yourself and everybody here, you know. They never wanted you to sing your song. They never wanted your soul song, your specific frequency, to be sung in this world without their influence, their handling. They want you to sing their song. We've forgotten how good karma was, someone said. Well, karma isn't necessarily good. Dharma might be. Or maybe they've just had shitty karma for so long that they don't even know what good karma is. They don't know what dharma is. But you've got it. They're talking about a system that a family-owned business uses in its business practices, namely business manager. These ones have been told by the Galactics that the transference of sin onto the purity of animals is no longer accepted. One of them said divorce. It could be in their partnership. It could be they've been divorced out of a particular entity of authority. They really feel like they have to do something. Apparently, you have no idea how strong you are, and you are working with the melanated people, or someone who is melanated. These adversaries who violated you are very concerned about the union of these energies, which is why they've got to do something. They've got to take you out. They got to interfere in this union somehow, because it's like two halves of a whole have been united, and the specifics and the gifts that belong to these halves are together, utilized together, which is a whole new ball game. One of these nefarious jackwagons asked if you were nasty. And someone said, she's never been nasty. You are a member of a tribe. Apparently, you are a member of the tribe of Judah. They're mentioning the Lion of Judah. So the Lion of Judah could be a melanated man, and you are a member of this tribe. You are working with this energy. There's something about a continuation, which is an extension, a prolongation, a going on without interruption, continued and unbroken existence or action, or something that is beginning again after an interruption. It is a resumption. And then they're talking about Codex, which is an ancient manuscript, the book of laws. The Codex is also known as the Growth Codex. It contains the genetic attributes of all artificially incubated infants before their inception. The Black Templars hate the Codex, astartes, because they believe it undermines the legacy of their primarch, their emperor, whatever, Rogul Dorn, whatever, and actively choose to disregard its strict organizational structure. They feel their emperor is God. So it could be that these are the Black Templars who have tried to put this emperor in the position of God, and they hate this Codex. There is a continuation, a beginning again after an interruption of this Codex that they hate. Codex of power allows you to imprint an extracted aspect or codex of power onto a rare or legendary item. There's a song on my YouTube in the Creator's Lab where he talks about, it was a channeled song from the Creator, the Master Magi, the Master Creator. He's talking about the energies which have been imbued and implied to the aspect of you, or something like that. So the Codex of Power allows you to imprint an extracted aspect onto a rare legendary item. So this is the embodiment of an extracted aspect. These ones, these who I've come to know as the transhumanists, have been extracting the life force essence of others, the bioplasma. They've been utilizing it to create false telepathic messaging. They wanted to empower this emperor as God. They wanted him to be seen as God, so they extracted bioplasma from the animals who were sacrificed daily and the humans in many different ways, and then they create this false telepathic reality, and then they try to manipulate the minds of people, and they've been doing it very successfully. I'm not going to the hospital. I've got holistic stuff. So these things have never been about religious wars, in my perception. I'm not religious. In my perception, currently, it's about the organic humans, their bioplasma, and their connection to source creation. These entities, these organic, original entities that embody the essence of the sun, and the transhumanists, who want to control the divine inside of the organics. You know, they've been harvesting the energy and manipulating minds through this false telepathic creation. She's the only person that blah, blah, blah. She's a lion too. She's a unifier. So it looks like this may be the end of this idiocy that is so shallow, you know, this separation that's based on skin color. There's something about therapy. Somebody needs therapy, and it could be that they're being counseled by the Galactics to seek it. You know, they're messed up in their freaking head. All men were created equal, someone said. Sounded like North Carolina was mentioned, and something about testify. All men were created equal. Some chose to nurture and support, protect life, and others chose to destroy it and cause suffering for life. And the divine said some time ago, while I was still magnificently being RAP'd in the mental body, they said the people must be tested. The people must be tested. They're calling you a dilettante, which is an amateur artist or creator. You're not professional. You kind of tinker around with it. Mostly, you know, you're not outside of yourself trying to manipulate the world around you. You're focused on the inside and growing that intensity within you and merging it with the all that is. See, you look at life like you don't need to manipulate the all that is. You just expand out into it and merge with it. And then it becomes a symbiosis, right? An unspoken symbiosis. Whereas these ones, these wizards, warlocks, witches, whatever, they actually go out, harvest energy, and then manipulate the creation. Whereas you are part of it, in its creation. So I guess this is a compliment. You're an amateur when it comes to manipulating others in this world. You're focused on yourself and the union that you experience with the all that is. You may have the perception that the Most High Creator knows what you need more than you. And you recognize that during times of challenge, that patience is necessary while you move through it, rather than trying to offload it or escape it somehow. You know that the divine is giving you what? Inner resilience, opportunity to explode and then bring it back into harmony and then expand, right? The internal supernovas that so many people run away with because they're wanting to create supernovas in somebody else's life, right? And so they never find the life within them. You don't command others' pathways. You don't go into other people's energies and spy on them or try to manipulate what they're doing or their happiness or their whatever. You move in your own way. And you don't play the same games that people play. These ones, anyway. Any one of us, the curator said. We know what she looks like, someone else said. So there's a group of these midnight misogynist narcissists who want to get in your 3D space and do you a thing. They have horrible plans for this duo. And first and foremost, they have to affect one of their 3D bodies, and they're of course going to go for the feminine because she's more petite and potentially a less potent defender of self. They're discussing the boundaries that are around you. There's something about 3 months, and that would be about May. So these ones have 3 months, it appears, and they have 3 months to track you, trace you, get you, trap you. And, over a year ago, I think it was January 4th or January 7th, the protectress said that these people will not obtain you. They will try, and they will fail. Everybody's addicted, the curator said. These transhumanists are addicted to the energy of others. They've been siphoning the energy of others, the sacral energy of others, for so long, dressing up in it and stuff, that they haven't even bothered to tend their own freaking garden. And now that you've cut them off, they're having withdrawals. There's something about a prophecy. They're talking about Satan and garlic. In their prophecy, ... and in your prophecy, ... So, the organic humans have their own prophecy, which is specific, and these transhumanists who worship Satan have their own prophecy. And this is the one that I've been listening to. She's young, she's brunette, she has no tattoos, she's very religious, she's easily programmable, she'll do whatever she's told. She's got an innocent purity that they can then harness and utilize to kick the shit out of you or whatever. But the divine also said some time ago, to these ones, you'll never find what you're looking for. So they want to destroy you, collective, whoever you are. These transhumanists said some time ago that they were going to unalive the strongest man. And then they were going to trap that feminine of that power dynamic and use her in a regenesis program, a genetic splicing type of a mad scientist brutalization of her essence. They want to get the particles and experiment with that. But it requires a relationship. It needs to be a relationship. And people are asking, well, can it be a job, like working at the same place? Apparently, being together is enough. Like if you have to share the same space, work on the same projects. So they're thinking that if they get hired on in the same department or in the company that you work for, or if they buy the software, this business manager that they're talking about, if they buy the software that the company uses, that perhaps they can somehow manage you. There's something about tuning forks. They might be recommending or getting a recommendation on how to adjust their own frequency. They may need to balance their chakra system. Or maybe you do. Maybe you use tuning forks or a singing bowl to bring harmony within your frequency. They're talking about the consciousness energy, which is the infinite energy that manifests from source and singularity. They want it out of you. This energy creates the mind, and the mind becomes infinitely conscious through manifestation, creativity, and interaction. They need to possess, to harness, to somehow gain access to and own this consciousness energy. When the all-pervading energy of consciousness touches us, we come alive. The dead need this connection. They can't get it on their own. They have to harvest it out of the organic, source-created beings here in the 3D. They need to steal this intellectual property. But this intellectual property, this source consciousness energy, is the intellectual property of the Most High Creator. These ones are stealing the intellectual property of the Most High Creator when they come for you. So it's not that they're stealing your fancy ideas and making a buck. They're actually stealing the life force vital energy, the consciousness source singularity essence. And this one said, those who hate me can look me in the face recently too. So, everybody's got a surprise, I imagine, coming for them. They're talking. Apparently you lived through heart attack magic, stroke magic, car accident magic, the go crazy magic, the get beat up magic, the get fired magic, the homelessness magic, on and on and on and on and on. You survived it. They're talking about the particulates in your essence and its byproduct. They're talking about the endorphins and, all those extracted fluids that they can get out of a suffering body. One of the masculines said, I've got this pressure. This could be what they ventilated into the air, what they conditioned the air with using this ventilator process. So somebody may have a pressure, or maybe they're getting a pressure. Like, these ones are said they're protected, like they're heavily protected by the Satan and their intergalactic or interdimensional cohorts and their upside down magical processes. So there could be a pressure being applied to their shield or their whatever barrier they got around them. They're talking about Simba, which is a lion, the Lion of Judah, the Lion King, which is strength, very strong, and power, and how Simba loves her. There's something about Florida, and they were bragging. There could be somebody, a wizard, warlock, whatever, in Florida Now, I'm under the impression, through information that I have gathered over time, that Florida could definitely be a jurisdiction of the Draco. And it could be that there was, whatever this hierarchy in that governing system there, maybe they did something against you and they were bragging about it, and it just didn't work out. There's something about a general. You could be a general in the Hebrew lineage. So what we've got is this Hebrew lineage has now been united with this melanated lion king, Simba, the Lion of Judah, has been united, unified with the Hebrew lineage. So the Most High decreed and orchestrated this union because they were sick of these transhumanists stealing their intellectual property, their consciousness energy. They swore, the king of that highest heavenly mountain, the one who has all authority, when he ran his essence through me, and I almost jumped out of my skin suit because it was so damn scary, even though it was done with love and very gently. He said they will get what they deserve, and they certainly will, because this Hebrew lineage is now united and unified with the lineage of these melanated people. These misogynist narcissists, it really sounds like their religion is going to get a little screwed up now. They're calling you dangerous. This duo is dangerous to their transhumanist agenda, to their domination and alteration of the organic life program that they have going on. Their mad science. They're being judged for sticking knives in you, figuratively or astrologically. I think that this is in the astral because many of you have been violated to the extreme, lifetime after lifetime in the astral. Many of you have been sacrificed over and over and over again to renew these transhumanist vows with whatever God they're loyal to. Every time you take up a new skin suit or whatever, it gets, the essence of it gets sacrificed to this black hole, and they get like 50%, and then it feeds 50% to this thing, and then they use the essence that they receive to cast illusions wearing your energy. It's really a disgusting program. And they're also being judged because of how happy this made them. So there's somebody asking if you have a mortgage. If we hit her, blah, 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 she needs her medicine, blah, 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 blah. So they're talking about destiny swapping. They want to knock you out of your body, out of your temple, and walk into it as you, and then use your energy of this chakra system and mutate the perception of you. Apparently your physical body needs medication, and wherever they're going or whatever is going to happen in 3 months or whatever they're talking about, it may not be available. And they may not have the ability to heal. You know, they're not magi. They're not human. They're not gods. They are transhumanists and disconnected from the light and of source. And the only way that they have access to it is by trapping through fraudulent contracts and also sacrificial rituals of the organic humans that have this connection. They want to evict you from your flesh suit, and so watch your surroundings. They want to hit you real hard. There's a group of these masculines who can identify you, and they're willing to go the extra mile. and take the risk, even though many have already stated that it's a suicide mission. They want the vessel your soul is inhabiting. And they want to kick your soul out of it and stick it in that black hole. They think somehow they have a chance of doing that. They're saying that you're unnatural because you need medication to manage the health and well-being of your physical temple, and that it has to be natural. And in this realm, there's actually no such thing as natural. They really went the extra mile to pollute the air with these vapors, to inject everybody's flesh temples with unknown substances year after year after year, so multiple shots year after year after year. They shut down the light production of the body with this mutation. And so they're saying it has to be natural, but they've screwed up every flesh temple. Every flesh temple that's here now, at least in where I'm living, many of them are on some of them are on over 20 medications a day. And they get the injections every year, all of them. There's no such thing as natural anymore. There is light-bearing people managing their temple and their light-bearing body to the best of their ability, given the transgressions that have been imposed upon it. They've been bioengineering everyone and everything. The food is tainted, as well as the waters. And that's something that the divine said when they came. The food is tainted. They have no ability to obtain a natural source unless somehow somebody doesn't eat, take medicines, or receive any of these injections. I don't know. They've done their best to pollute everything because they really thought that they had this one and that they were going to be seen as the light-bearing beings, once they dressed up in that energy, and that they would be moving on into this kingdom of God, and then they would be able to, wage war with this emperor that everybody, what was that, what do they call that? What was that? The Black Templars. They think this emperor is their god. They could be transhumanists. Trying to and they wanted to dress up in your light force essence, and they wanted to go into the kingdom of the Most High God, into the upper dimensions, and they wanted to bring war there. But you didn't perish. You walked through the valley of the shadow of death, and you came out shining. And now they need to knock you back out of there. They really didn't think that it was going to come to this. They really did not think that you were going to be this strong. It sounded like someone said to them, "My babies," a divine feminine, is on their butt. They've been calling you a Jehovah's Witness. It could be that the Divine Mother is very, very upset over what they have been doing to her babies. She's got the complete support of the Divine Father. And they're listening to these ones through the transmitter receiver of the babies that made it through the valley of the shadow of death, that survived, and they've got their light on. They're listening to these ones plot and plan their demise. They're listening to their boasting, to their arrogance, and to their glee at the thought of causing them insurmountable suffering. They're listening as these ones scheme and scam a plan to get into the vessel of the babies, of the Divine Mother and the Divine Father. And then I heard, I'm just like, whoa, because then I heard, what you have done to the animals will be done unto you. I don't know how someone said, blah, 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 blah. And I also recognize blah, 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 blah. Now, the divine doesn't let me hear everything, you know? I think the divine only lets me hear enough. And I give that to you, and then you can fill in the blanks wherever that needs to go. So they're looking through a glass or a remote viewing. They've been charged or accused of baiting people, driving them, baiting them, and then driving them into a traumatic end. They bait them. They, what do they call that? Bribe. So they bait them into some horrible thing, and then they bribe them, and then they drive them into a traumatic end, because they, you know, people are usually driven by fear and shame. Then I had a vision. It looked like two people kind of running. Two people were running. One was chasing the other. One tripped and fell face first into some shallow water. It had a concrete floor under it. It was like, you know, when you go to the waterfront, sometimes they'll have like a foot cooling place for the children to run and play on a hot day, and it'll recycle the water, and it'll be like ankle deep or whatever. And it was kind of like that, maybe a little deeper. And they tripped and they fell face first into the water, and it was like they knocked themselves out. The other person that was being chased was stopped up ahead, and then they sat on a rock and they were watching. And then this gigantic person came out of the sky. They reached down and they grabbed this individual laying in the water by the back of their coat, and they lifted this limp body out of the water, and it was just dripping, and they sort of collected it. So I don't know if whoever was being chased, like if this is a collection point. That may have had a portal for the collector. Take it as it resonates. She has a big following, this curator says. Everything she says is valid. So apparently nowadays, everything is instant karma. Instant karma. Earlier, someone said they forgot how good karma was, so they're getting instant karma, and it's not good, because they haven't done anything to earn dharma. They've done no karma yoga. Somebody bought or brought an innocent, and then they were discussing a handler, and somebody is more afraid. Something about will receive courtesy. It could be you. Like the divine may be telling these ones that you will receive courtesy. And they've already said that your land in the spirit, whether it's manifested in the 3D or not, it's private. Everything they intend for you is an intention toward the Most High. Everybody who hates the Most High can look him in the face. They're looking to sanitize somebody. They said she's pregnant or that she needs to be pregnant. These transhumanists are looking for a pregnant woman that they can sacrifice in the spirit into a different frequency or a dimensional reality or some kind of a matrix that her unborn child can then be like occupied by this dark force. And then she will have an immaculate, in this particular dimension or frequency or matrix or whatever, it will appear as though she's having an immaculate conception. But the spirit of that child will be embodied by this a-hole, who could potentially be the emperor that these Black Templars are trying to portray as God. Now, I didn't even know anything about the Black Templars until I looked that up, that little bit of information there that was all about. Regarding, what was that? What was that regarding? The Codex, regarding the Codex. I had no idea about any of that stuff until I had to Google it this morning. So anyway, that's their plan. They got to get a woman or a young woman who's pregnant, and then they'll sacrifice her in the spirit into a new dimensional reality or a matrix, and then the child will be embodied by this dark force, and then in that dimensional reality they will come up with another immaculate conception, and they're gonna try to do their religious thing again. There's something about the golden child. Now, this melanated Lion King, the King of Judah, Lion of Judah, and this apparently Hebrew lineaged feminine are going to have a golden child. And apparently this prophecy is that golden child will rule the realms. So what they want to do is they want to get this pregnant woman with a child and drag her into another matrix, and then they want to do, the as above, so below. They want to have their own matrix reality that involves some kind of a golden child ruler. And they want to create this illusion, that's this doppelganger illusion. They want to get rid of this female before she has an opportunity to be fully integrated into this family. The golden child, these Christed beings, they're birthed into golden eggs. They're all golden childs. They're all golden children. This could be the Hebrew lineage, which has recently, according to the Most High God who rules over that realm of Trine, and he who is the king of that highest heavenly mountain, he who has all authority, this Hebrew lineage has been unified by their command and demand with this Lion of Judah and this tribe. Boy, these transhumanists are pissed. They want to stop this at all costs. They want to create their own matrix, and they want to create their own reality, and they want to stop this other prophecy from happening. These transhumanists were actually siphoning the essence, the particles of the essence out of these golden eggs before they even had an opportunity to be birthed through an organic woman's womb. So these children were coming in weak, blinded, deformed, and they were playing both sides of the court. They were playing, they were crossing the half court. They broke the half court rule. They were playing God, the Most High God, against this Satan. And then they were dressing everybody up in the energy of the earth angelics, and then acting as though they were like little hoe bags, and trying to pick their own personal chosen one to replace them, but they were using the energy of the actual to create this illusion. And it's all been seen. It's all been seen. Very, very bad. Very, very bad what these ones have been doing with the Most High God's intellectual property. There's something about graveyards and why these kids are quiet. I don't know what that means. Something happened to one of their feminines, and they said she was acting. She might have went before the Galactic Council to be quizzed, to be verified as what, to be verified. Is she who she say she is? And apparently she was acting. So she was found to be unauthentic, an actress, and a fraud. And then I heard, in the wrong neighborhood essay, so these ones excommunicated a divine feminine from their tribe, their church or religious cult. And this could be these ones who have been into transhumanism. They got real silly when it came to the intellectual property and otherwise of the divine. They tossed this person aside, whoever this divine feminine is. They tossed her aside, buried her, vilified her, cursed her, and blamed her, covered her in the shame that belonged to them. They abused her in many ways. They harvested her in many ways. They did lots and lots of nasty magic with her energy, and really tried to, they didn't try, they really screwed her up by all of this mental magic and everything that they put her in. See, a lot of you that you didn't remember who you were, you didn't know who you were, you felt like you were the black sheep of the family. Everybody in your family was narcissists, liars, alcoholics, drug addicts, in and out of prison, whatever. And they put you in this family hoping that they could drag you down and drop you down into that vibratory frequency and have you embedded in that karmic debt that they had placed in that generational lineage. So you didn't belong there. You are divine, and they threw you into this black hole matrix. And now Spirit Divine is saying that they can't have you back. They said, never give it back. You'll never give it back. They threw you away as though you had no value. And then they brutalized you. They laughed at you from afar, watching you suffer, monitoring the effectiveness of their magic upon your life. Anytime that you fell in love or got too cozy or happy, they would send in a gigolo or a Jezebel, and they would ruin that for you, causing you, the need to move, to have a shattered heart. They tried to destroy love in you is what they tried to do. So now they're really upset because what they threw away has been accepted by this new family, claimed. The essence and the energy and the gifts belonging to this Hebrewic lineage that belongs to her is now being utilized to empower this new family tree that was gifted to her by the Most High God, who she always remained loyal to, even though she didn't have any memories of anything. This connection dwelled within her soul. Within his soul. All of you divine beings. So, but in any way, this particular essence, this is a particular story. So, All of the connections that came with this divine is the feminine, excuse me, all of the connections that come with this divine feminine from source creator, all of that energy that is flowing divinely through her is also empowering this new family tree. So her Heavenly Father is the God of the realm of Trine. And the king of that highest heavenly mountain is he who has all authority. You can call him most likely Yahashua. And this lineage has now been gifted to another family tree. Those that excommunicated and brutalized her and thought themselves superior are finding out that they really effed up royally. One of the only royal things that they possess. Royal POS, royal pain in the butt, and they F up royally. So now they want to get in her 3D space and do her a thing because their magic is weak against this new collective union and family. They're having a dilemma. They are in great danger with this endeavor. They are reliant on the essence of the divine feminine to produce any kind of magic that works. And I'm talking about divine feminine as a whole. I'm talking about divine masculine as a whole. These transhumanists require the sacral energy and the particulates of the energy that flows within these organic divine beings in order to make their magic work. They've been cut off, and they need to ensnare, entrap, obtain it somehow. Many of their own members are calling it a suicide mission. They know it is. They know that if they come into your energy, they have to be prepared to fight. Now the curator of this vital force, this life energy that has been stolen from the Most High, and the Divine Mother and her babies, they're saying it's time to compensate her. Many of thousands of years, they've gotten a free ride with their cruelty. You know, they were dumping this sin into the animals and then casting that into the abyss. Beautiful little precious babies of all kinds. They've just been told by the Galactics or somebody that that's no longer acceptable. Anyhow, they've gotten away with a free ride of their cruelty using the essence and the gifts of this family of light against each other, against themselves. It's the conquer and divide, right? They burnt bridges, they shut everybody down, they memory wiped people, shut down their third eye, you know, wiped their memories of who they were, what their history was, threw them into a place like the United States, it's got 200-year history. So, and if you've had adoption in your family, you know, you just have no idea who you are. So they were wearing the Divine Feminine's energetic signature and a mask to make it appear that it was her doing these very nefarious and disgusting things, while she was buried in this darkness, shut down, memory wiped, wondering why life sucks so bad. And they owe a great debt. It's time to compensate her. They're aware of it. They've got 3 months, apparently. So they must obtain this source once more. Their existence depends on it. They can't repay the debt. So they're looking for an escape route, and it requires the energy and the particles, the particulates of this source, what was that? Source connection or whatever. Anyway, it's the intellectual property of the Creator, the Most High Creator, and the Divine Mother and her babies. All of them, whether they be in a human flesh suit or an animal suit, they're all babies, innocent and pure. And these ones have been covering them in this sin and throwing it into the abyss. And then they've been feeding the meat to the poor people, having them ingest it and trapping them with this magic of sin. So they're talking about their respiratory infections, and they're hopeful that you'll go to the hospital for antibiotics. There could be something wrong with the antibiotics, or they're just hoping that you'll go into the hospital and that somebody will see your name and then flag you and then put you in a room where they can then come in and do whatever. They might want to inject you with something, which will shut down this connection that you have with the Lion King, Simba. They're talking about appetizers for their black hole demon god. They've got to feed it. They've pledged loyalty to it. They have to feed it. They have a contract they have to honor. Although they don't know too much about honoring contracts. In the background, I heard someone laughing and laughing and laughing hysterically. Didn't I hear them laughing earlier too? Thought I heard them laughing earlier too. Anyhow, they were laughing like something was hilariously funny. You know, they were, because, okay, you out there who are Clairaudient, you are transmitter receivers. There are crystals in your mind. You have this beautiful ability to expand out into the all that is, and you're a transmitter receiver for the divine. You receive messages and you transmit them. Whether you're receiving them from the divine and transmitting them into this reality, or you're receiving messages from this particular reality and then transmitting it to the divine. So they're talking about appetizers and, you know, needing to feed it to this black hole. And then I heard somebody laughing, like hysterically laughing, like it was the funniest thing they've ever heard. They're talking about a Mexican. And they've talked about him a few times. And I saw him once, you know, very courageous. This person sat in front of me with a black, like a beautiful hat. It wasn't a cowboy hat and it wasn't a derby. It was just like a shaman hat, you know, like one of those beautiful hats. Anyway, it was black and he was beautiful. He had this beautiful long black hair. And he sat there so freaking confident. He shared himself, a vision of himself with me, knowing that these ones were watching. And he was very scary and beautiful. And these ones know that he is scary. They keep talking about him. And it could have been him that said, in the wrong neighborhood essay. Could very well be. Yeah. So the indigenous are rising throughout the lands, no matter where they are. and no matter the skill set that they have, they're all rising with this beautiful potency within whatever specialty that they have harnessed in their lives, and they're very successful with what they do. So anyway, he must be giving them a hard time. You're not allowed to touch her, someone said. She's positivity. She's balance and harmony. It's the last one, someone said. So you're an original, and some time ago there was an exclamation by one of these nefarious jackwagon masculines who no longer seems to be present. What the F is that? They could not figure it out, and they were in a panic. They had to figure out what the F this is. See, they thought that they had wiped all of you out. You were supposed to be nothing more than a myth. But they sacrificed you thousands of years ago. And then they forgot about you. And they only saw your innocence, your sweet purity, the part of you. I mean, if somebody came up and offered your dream state person drugs or whatever, and then they felt hurt, like they got their feelings hurt because you didn't want to or whatever, you would do it because you didn't see them as wanting to do something that would be harmful to you because of your purity. It's like there's no malevolence in you, so you weren't able to recognize malevolence. Boy, they got off on that crap. They did not recognize who you were or what you had inside of you or what they were messing with. One of them said, me or many, under the influence. So they're speaking of themselves or others. It could be that they're all under the influence. Like very addicted. They haven't worked on themselves. They haven't healed their triggers. They don't know who themselves are. They're just under the influence all the time about everything. And they could be trying to gaslight the collective. And I know that they were trying to do mirror magic and put addictions onto those who typically would not travel that path. They were putting it on them while they were siphoning out their happiness and their good state for themselves. Still doing this other stuff, but mirroring the sin of it onto you. So there's something about Europe. And then someone entered this unseen room of my mind, my house, that these ones like to have meetings in, and said that he was told, guys, everything you have done to this woman will be done to blah, 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 blah. Now, I don't know if it's going to be done to them, to their family, or whatever. But they have cursed themselves and their families, it appears. Everything that they have done to this woman will be done to something, something, something. And yet still, they're trying to, this attempt to get in, to manipulate and ensnare the essence of her. It's like they're exhibiting this inability to comprehend the reality of this situation. It's like they don't have any common sense. They're not able to think for themselves. They can't look at a situation and say, I think this and I'm going to choose this. It's like they're looking to whoever this person is that they have pledged allegiance to for direction. And this curator just doesn't give a crap. He is so driven to obtain this energy source and connection again. And it's his task. He insists on moving forward with the intention of capturing and harming this feminine and the particles in her essence. He is loyal to this black hole and he must get it. They infiltrated, somebody said. So it could be that you are a galactic being who birthed into this realm, and they weren't sure who you were. They thought maybe it was you, but they weren't sure. And they were having such a great time with their partying and their alcohol and their drugs and their fantastic midnight hour, witchy stuff, putting that energy onto others or siphoning the sacral energy out of some pure being and then going out and having orgies and then coming back and putting that energy back on this being. I mean, this is how they've been having a lot of fun with this. So apparently, though, the divine infiltrated this network. They're homeless, somebody said. So this could explain why they're searching for targets who own homes, who don't have a mortgage. And desperation is kicking in too. They really need to get into your vessel to replace you with some doppelganger who wants to be you and take over your home. I don't think they're even concerned about the people that you meet with on a regular basis, or even your parent or parents. Like, they feel as though maybe they're going to be able to pull it off. It's like everything they're saying, all of their intentions are being seen and heard. And a while back, the divine said that their intentions will be their gift. And so this is strange. A while back, they were cursing somebody with a 1D career. And a protectress from over a year ago, I think it was January 4th or January 7th, said that they won't be able to curse your land or your business. So I don't know if that includes you working for somebody or if this is your business. So they're saying out of business. They're cursing your employer's business, trying to get them to shut down. So, Most High Creator, source of all things, please protect this family's business and the finances of the owner and all of the employees that they provide sustenance to. Please return to sender as needed, as seen fit by he who embodies the essence of the sun. Aho, Wado. Thank you. So there's something about a flavor. And there's something about she's not kidding. She's making adjustments. And one of them said, I can virtually blah, 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 blah. So somebody's going to try to virtually tap in to these adjustments that she is making and alter her corrections. They want to commit fraud on these documents that she is changing. Someone is being told that they should not have twisted you. I shouldn't have twisted her. I shouldn't have twisted her. Someone kept saying. Her spirit guides are on this guy, telling them she became something different. That innocent purity that would never hurt a fly, that would do whatever you say, faithfully, willingly, if she thought it could help you. She became something different. And yet she's still harmonized and balanced within herself. Her heart is still loving and pure. But now she has no qualms whatsoever about what happens to them. She has no desire or intention of assisting them with anything. Apparently a beast was born in her that day they twisted her. Or the event or circumstance that she had to endure that twisted her. In other words, they sent you to a darkness with abuse that they thought was going to destroy you. And instead, you alchemized and brought it all into harmony within self. A new creation. Utilizing everything that has become part of you. It's like every experience that you have, you bring it in and you alchemize it, and then you recreate self. It's like anything that is meant to destroy you, to cause a heart shattering or a mind shattering or whatever kind of a soul shattering, any kind of a shattering that you go through. It's like whatever element caused that is harmonized and then brought into balance and then expanded further out into the all that is. It's like you incorporate it and bring it into harmony within yourself, a new creation with a twist. So, and because you continue to come from a place of love, balanced and harmonized, you're a North Node temperance angel, star, most likely. Rejuvenator, revitalizer, harmonizer. And you're always coming from a place of love, which is why this twist that has happened is so powerful. You're not coming from a vindictive place. You're not vengeful. You're not going militant on anybody. You're very disciplined and purposeful with your intentions. And you still seek to improve the lives of those around you. Somebody's saying, they have people which should never, never, ever have been in these positions. Those are their exact words. They have people which should never, never, ever have been in these positions. And yet they chose these energies. They chose for their entire family tree, generations. You survived, and one of them is saying, it's a freaking miracle. They can't believe it. And it could be that twist, harmonized and balanced, incorporated into a new creation that made it possible. These ones consider themselves gods. They're transhumanists. They believe that they have genetically spliced and diced and mutated themselves into this special thing that can outperform and out-brutalize anything, anyone, even the source creator that gave you your transmutation abilities, your alchemizing abilities. It seems the only real skill they have is brutalization and destruction of the living. This is almost an hour and a half long already. They really kept me up all night, guys. They're in panic mode. So they really believed that they had perfected their profession of brutalizing and defiling and degrading purity and the pure intention of being a loving being within self and within the community. You survived their brutalization that they thought was perfect. 2x4, one of them said. Now, in slang, this means I will hit you real hard. They may want to hit you real hard, try to get you out of your flesh temple, take over, destiny swap and all that bullshit that the whole entirety of the freaking cosmos is listening in on. Or it's also known as informally, or it's also known as informal, unimportant, insignificant, or petty. So this petty, insignificant individual needs to hit you real hard in the head and take over your flesh vessel and your identity so that they can appear as though they are something special. And then there was somebody speaking from the left of me, and I have come to know these as the Draco, or the that type of an energy, because one of them, the Draco King or whatever, stood like right this close to me, and he was all mean, you know, with his lizard face and stuff, getting all mad at me and stuff. So one of their hybrids or whatever was saying, "Let me in." A younger. So they have these angelic appearing hybrids that are very, very good actors, very, very potent with their magic, and very cruel because they use words of love. They use the intimate connection of loving, and it is only used as an ATM card or as a weapon of destruction, brutalization, weapon of war. They want into your new chapter. They want to force you to let them in. So there could already be one, if not two, spies, these younger masculines, in the new chapter's camp, in this private territory. Because I heard one a while back saying, "Let me go look around." So it's like he made it in, and now he's spying. So it's like a re-verification of these ones needs to be happening. They're acting innocent, and they are tricksters and actors. There is this curator that's coaching folks right now. It has to be a relationship, a business relationship, a romantic relationship, any kind of a relationship where energy or essence is mixed somehow with permission. A gift received or given. Take it as it resonates. So then there's a person who said, was saving one for whose wording? Whose wordings? Whose wordings? WHO''S, wordings with an S. Was saving one for, like that's a person? They were using it as though it was a person's name. Like Doctor Who? Could there be a Doctor Who out there who's spell casting, word casting, a word spell? Save for somebody who's Doctor Who, maybe? In this present moment of desperation. They're talking about harvesting the sacral chakra energy in the dream state. Now, here's the thing. These ones, you know, they've been harvesting the sacral energy out of the dream state of a lot of people, giving them wet dreams, whether they be single or married, you know. And this has happened to me as well as others I know, without a doubt. Masturbation dreams, or just, you know, sex dreams, where they actually go off, you know, with a Jezebel or an incubus or a succubus in the dream state. It happens. So they've been harvesting the sacral energy out of the people without permission, without conscious permission. And then they utilize that signature, that energetic signature, and then they go cast magic spells and illusions using that person's energy and signature, and they don't have any idea that they are being covered in the shame and the blame of this ritual. Like they're being blamed for what's happening there, and they've been doing it for a very, very long time. It's theft. It's theft of intellectual property. It's theft of life force essence. It's theft of that source conscious singularity that belongs to the Most High and the Divine Mother and her babies. So these ones felt that because they sacrificed these beings into a hell realm or a dark space, that they owned the person. Everybody got a number. And they felt that they owned the person. They tracked them, traced them, and drove them into traumatic endings and life patterns that they would never, ever have chosen for themselves otherwise. And they did this life cycle after life cycle, you know? So there's something is majestic, which is beauty, dignity, great, exalted, and noble. They were casting fantasies and illusions over the majestic ones who have the light of source creation in them. These people who can explode into a million freaking pieces and pull it all back together as a new creation within themselves, the life within. It becomes new and more expanded every time this happens. And every time that they give it a twist with their own nefarious deeds, that gets incorporated into the new creation. This thing that they thought for sure would destroy you was incorporated and utilized as a new gift. So then I saw a piece of paper with very little writing on it. It was like a 8.5 by 5.5 sheet of paper, and there was only like maybe 5 or 6 lines of type on it across the 8.5 inch, the horizontal way. Very, very few words were on it. And then I saw an earth angel, a feminine earth angel. And she had her face tilted up. And then it was like from a higher position, from like a dimension above where she was standing, like a whole another dimension above, maybe more, was a big angel. And he was leaning his head down, and he kissed her. So this contract was sealed with a kiss. So an earth angelic feminine has found her kingdom spouse, and she has graduated into a higher dimensional experience. She is free from these transhumanists that tried to trap her in false contracts and lies. And I was so happy when I saw that. So, you know, the divine masculine throughout the multiverse, they heard the cries and the prayers of the mothers. They heard the tortured screams of the children. They heard it all. And so did the source and the divine mother. They know exactly what these ones have been doing to her babies. And the divine masculine and the divine feminine, the kings and queens, gods and goddesses, or whatever terminology they like to use when they describe themselves, they heard these calls go out. They knew what these transhumanists were doing, and they answered the call. And about 8 months ago, they got white lightning fed up, and they decided to clear this damn foundation, and they're doing a very good job of it. The light bearers of the earth realms got their bling on. They turned their light on, despite the transhumanists' attempts to shut their light body down with all of these toxins, all of these injections, all of this tainted food. They could not bury or trap these ones into false contracts. Now, you know, some of them didn't make it. They weren't able to get their light body on, you know, with all of this manipulation. So, but you did. You did. And you, because you did, you are a catalyst for change, for life. And I heard that in the future, the feminine are seen as though they are valuable. So this is an hour and 40 minutes. I was up all night listening to these ones. I will share what I hear. If they do not wish it to be so, then they should stop entering my house and let me sleep. See you on the next one, everybody. Bye.